The soldiers looked back surprised. Very fast. All the spikes on his body, he immediately shot raw. 4-way, 8-way flight. In a small house in the city. A boss right now was pierced by the devil's spikes. His body quickly changed. Before completely losing his mind, he tried to bite his teeth and tell his wife not to worry about me. Take the child and run. I'm about to lose control. Very fast. The head has changed into the form of the yellow devil. It's the wrong way to do it. When the wrong hand of the dead, metal spikes on their backs will shoot out. People who are hit by spikes will be infected, will then turn into the false hand of the new lost way. The soldiers are still in place. The sensor is moved and the head is turned to the right. It's not far away. There's another yellow devil standing there, endlessly screaming. I saw another one appear. It's not just fearless. On the contrary, he laughed excitedly. On the middle kneel right now, it's still surrounded by pterosaurs. One of them opens its mouth and bites at the devil. The call of duty. The devil reacts very quickly. Immediately jump back and dodge. Then he looked at the enemy with a loud shout. According to its cry, immediately there were lightning in the sky. The pterosaur was immediately electrocuted for numbness. On the opposite side, the devil fires. It's not so light. Look at the pterosaurs in front of you. He turned his head and looked at the devil screaming. There are more and more of these strange birds. I really can't stand it anymore. Middle devil knocked down one last drum. Then stop. No, we're done here. The current devil VI, from the underworld on the ground, to fall into the realm of the gods. Radio high heat, Kimbody Corn Immortal, defend the gods. The hut of the middle devil, it was quickly transformed into a magnificent temple. His body is inside the temple. It's also quickly covered in a layer of gold. In the sky, a golden light breaks through the clouds, illuminating the temple of the middle kneel. The camp is evacuating. It's hard for people to see this phenomenon again. This is the radiant power of heaven. Only appear when the gods are on the ground. They go back to their Kim bodies. Evil lie on one side, also staring at the anomaly in the sky. Building a temple in the city of demons. The old devil also has a lot of energy. The ceremony also stopped the battle, looked to the distance. The sign of the temple. Someone has become the new king of Sao city management. While he was distracted, he looked away. The king of Tibet did not know. The devil doesn't he appear behind his back. The ceremony also touched the enemy. Just as the Tibetan king swung down his sword. Then he quickly developed the life and death time. Make time stop. Then gently bow your head. Avoid this enemy's sword. One click, the 7 failed. The Lord of Tibet did not have too many surprises. The two of you continue to fight the evil war. This time, the king of Tibet had a bit of an upper hand, constantly pushing back the ceremony. After a while, the two separated. The local Tibetan king looked at the enemy, laughing coldly. Of course, from the beginning, you have always used life and death in secret. Explain a little. Life and death time is the secret of the Dark Lord. They can only broadcast when you feel yourself or others at the moment of death. Its effect is to make time pause. 2 eyes squinted on the cheek, and there was a wound. Look at the enemy, asking, how do you recognize the Tibetan king? Remember the battle. Laugh coldly because it's so contradictory. Every time you run away, it's just the right time. And just start moving. When my sword threatens you. You do like this, in addition to showing off his skills. I can only understand that. You're effectively pausing time. Of life and death time to support combat. Create illusions that make us think. Your martial arts skills are better than mine. So, we've made targeted adjustments before. Intertwined in that series of attacks. A trick of pretending. It's a trick just to pretend. I'll run through your cheek. I can't believe it's true. This time we can't really avoid our challenge. The priest saw that his trick had been debunked. Then the face dropped. On the middle kneel right now. He's completely transformed into a colored statue. My God, if you can't save it this time. At least half of the population. Then we're from the underworld on Earth. Back to the world of gods is absolutely big hole. It's a lot of holes. Maybe we have to do another 7 minus 5. At the same time, the king is also doing magic right now. Then a right to carry the yin-yang project. Beating up a mummy. After flying the mummy away. Then he collected it. The mummy just stood up. Then the yin-yang project has appeared under his feet. There's a carp swimming underneath. After a while, all the flesh and blood of the mummy was gone. All that's left is a pile of fabric wrapped around the outside. This is the great art of yin and yang judgment of the king. This learning can only be done. Used by judges. Follow the path of martyrdom. If you become a victim of this trick, have accumulated enough poor, then earlier fisherman will lead the winner to Hong Tuin. Otherwise, this technique is completely harmless. I see the enemy has been dealt with. The king is breathing out now. Lucky that yin-yang can effectively force the destruction. If not out of the wind, if I push out, I really don't think out. Is there any other way to deal with the freaks? Even if it's pierced through the head, it's not dead. He just finished talking in the back. There's a Venus that shines. Fortunately, Nin Trung was in time. If not, he is now. It's turned into a set of bodies at the hands of a mummy. The king saw that and smiled reluctantly. Haha, I haven't said anything yet. Right now, behind him, there's a Venus that's slowly condensing. Ning Trung saw him remain naive, and then a reminder. Dante, look at me carefully behind you. Very fast, the devil appeared next to them. Don't worry, it's me. We've found our hiding place. The exact nature of the city. I think you should deal with them first. You can use the location information I provided to gather all the Leviathan in the city. In such a place, after the festival is destroyed, he will be forced to activate the heavenly bandit to revive. We can catch the gap in that moment. Seal him up, and then slowly try to reverse it. The devil brings the city back to earth. Nin Trung stroked his chin thoughtfully. That's how it can be done. After the Sky Raiders were gathered in one place, someone has to stay. Guard the means of revival of this ceremony. In this way, the people on the main battlefield, afraid it won't be enough, he knelt calmly. No wonder we'll find a way. Ning Trung turned his head to look at the kingdom. Then I have no problem and you are okay. You kept your original plan to find your master. Ask for clarity. Come with me, the king said. I will go with you. The side of the noodle shop, the soldiers right now. I'm helping him out of the rubble. The little girl was sitting on one side crying. When he saw that his father was saved, he quickly ran back. She jumped into my chest and cried so hard. Dad, I thought you were dead. Old man stroked her head laughing. How can? Your father couldn't have died the last time he was cut off. Small things like this can make things happen. Right now, the king and the king are back. The soldiers saw that and immediately bowed their heads. Master Nin Trung looked at them subordinates. You then. Take the bartender's daughter to the meeting with the stars. Soong Sop, you don't need to manage other things. You just need to protect her well. The king came in front of the two old men. Come with us. This time things are bothering you. It can also be solved together. He can nod his head. Little Prickly clenched the corner of his shirt, asked father, Dad, can't you go? He stroked her head. I told you, these things can't take your life. She still wants to say something. They were led away by soldiers. The old man in the distance waved his smiling hand. I'll come back for you when I'm done. Be kind and wait for me for a moment. Another side of the city. Two old men are running very fast towards the city gate. Both of them have been through the devil's destruction. Experience knows that you have to run away from the city before it's completely taken over by the monsters. The old woman in the back was running and screaming. Old man, slow down a little. I can't keep up with the old man. Keep your voice down. Let the demons come to us. The old woman kept running without even noticing. She just stepped on the remains of the demons. A slave to the gods. He was beaten to death by the king. She just stepped on a pool of blood. Then the fabric next to it moves. The old woman is running. He immediately fell down with his feet wrapped in cloth. And then they're both caught by the fabric. No matter how much they scream. Finally didn't escape the scene. Wrapped up in a mummy. After a while completely turned into mummy too. They stood up again. On the side of the temple of the middle kneel. Two little devils. I'm still fighting with the pterosaurs right now. The devil doesn't notice. It was torn into 3 pieces by a pterosaur. But very quickly, his body gathered again. Reborn perfectly. 0-1 scratch. He turned his head excitedly and glanced at the pterosaurs. I told you. Since the old man became a god on his knees. The devil with the old man is us. It has now become immortal. At the same time in the north, the 2 men also led. Countless people come to the truth. Take out the blood of the jewel seal. Mark the shadow of the wall. Then turn around and talk to him. We'll stay here and protect them. You go to the gathering. All the survivors in the city. Quickly to take refuge here. While you 2 talk. Then a Venus. Quickly condensed behind their backs. The devil looked at them and said, Don't you move. I'll organize a gathering of people. A small corner of the city. 2 human brothers and sisters trying to escape from the pursuit of pterosaurs. The girl is running a little slow. Was caught by a pterosaur. It quickly pulls her up into the air. Right now in the sky. The face of the great Kim of the middle kneel. The clouds appear again. On his knees, he opened his eyes and looked down at the bottom. I am the new god of the city. In the city, there are demons gathering to attack. Hurry up and get to the wall. In the north of the city. If you are in danger on the way, just remember my name in your heart. I will appear in front of you to protect you. The 2 Trong-su people saw this majestic scene. I can't help but be terrified. It's a spectacular divine appearance. I didn't know before how much energy was accumulated that day, or just a personal will. Ceremony on one side, the devil bites his teeth. The new king of the city is the devil. I had a problem with my mind that day. To give up his way to the devil. To quickly achieve demonic Shinto achievements. Just to ruin my plan. When the people saw it, they prayed. It doesn't matter if you're a king or not. It doesn't matter. How much do you want me to pay later? Please save my sister. She's my only remaining relative. Be a royal, bless my father. I'm also yelling out loud right now. Let's all recite the title together. The king knelt. Your sincere prayers. it can give him more power. The greater his power is, the more power he has. Cover for you. Very fast from 4 directions, 8 directions. In cities everywhere, there is a constant willingness to fly. Their destination. It's the middle devil in the temple. The devil feels these prayers. Whisper your prayers in silence. Was heard by God. Next year, I will free you from this oil. In the sky, the sun is shining again. The whole temple is now illuminated by the golden light. Glow in the dark. Body image Chung devil. Rapid condensation in the air. He looked at the pterosaur in front of him and yelled. Don't let me say it twice. Let go. Kneel down now. Is in the battle form of the king. In this state, he will get it. The immortal Kim and the immortal incarnation. There's no limit to the number of incarnations. But the attrition will increase by the number of incarnations. And the incarnation cannot leave the city, only where Kim herself is located. On the other side, the Thai soldiers are currently torturing the yellow devil. It's terrible. Swinging and screaming endlessly, extremely happy. Evil from now on. It's also coming from an alley. He looked at the devil on his shoulder. I'm sure we won't be there in time. Please lend me 2 units of gas. The demon immediately nodded. Old man. Very quickly, the air on him. The power of the devil increased several times. He quickly deployed the wisest Qigong. Body strengthening. Then using the speed of the naked eye can't see the direction clearly. The Thai soldiers came running. The yellow devil was once again defeated by the Thai army. The Thai soldiers stood proudly on his chest and watched. Yellow devil lies on the ground. Bite the teeth provocatively look at the Thai soldiers. If you are good, kill me. Thai soldiers laughing provoke me, Sao. In his hands, a long sword quickly appeared. Then he raised his sword. Want to stab down the yellow devil's chest. Death to evil lie in the distance, see that. Immediately yelled stop hand. Then he landed quickly. Next to the army. The wisest Qigong was also immediately neutralized by him. Evil lie staring Thai soldiers. You must not kill it. It's hard to see why. Evil lie slowly explained. What is at your feet is the wrong hand of the way. After he was killed, the thorns on his back will shoot out from all sides. People who are hit by spikes will be infected. Then they'll turn into the wrong hands. Who killed it? It just makes the wrong people lose their way. Appeared more. The soldiers laughed so excitedly. Then the better. There are more toys to kill evil. Hear that? Anger bite aesthetic teeth. Although it is currently on the same side. But look at this damn devil. Not on the same track with me. While they negotiate. Then around appeared again the wrong hands of another lost way. Go to. The two quickly stopped arguing and looked back. The yellow devils. I'm also using a very harsh eye right now. Look at them on the other side. The Lord of Tibet is not stopping at this time. The more you hit. The Tibetan king in his heart is extremely difficult to understand. It was so strange to lose it until now. Except in defense. This guy's going to use life and death. The rest is other powerful secrets of the prince of the underworld. He doesn't use it at all. Is he extending his time? That's right. He's definitely stretching his time. But love, the current situation is clearly on our side. He has absolutely no reason. Wasting time here. Melons with me. Think about here. The Tibetan king immediately stopped the attack. Maybe we missed something. Not considering Sao. Let's say the ceremony is waiting for something to happen. And after that happens, he might be able to completely overpower me. Dragon fruit of great ton, the middle kneeling king in the ruined capital of Kir. If this assumption is correct, then we can't get involved anymore. We have to speed up the game. Thinking of this, the corners of his mouth went up. The fire quickly covered his entire body. When I saw that, I laughed coldly. We have seen through the power of the Red Lotus. You brought to this world. It's even an unclean little squirt. They can't burn to death. Bring it out to deal with an underworld king like me. You're a little paranoid. Tibetan Wang laughed. Is it a fantasy or not? Test will know immediately. On the other side, 2 people. I went to a small house in the city. They just walked into a house. I saw a yellow devil. Sitting there, eating people. The devil looked at them. I see that the kings are glad. Lord, 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 save me. After being hit by this black prickly nose, I'm getting weird. I really don't know what to do. Nin Trung turned to entrust with the crown. Get out of here first, this guy. The king nodded. Then I went out and closed the door very quickly. There was a cry in the house. The old man glanced at the king. Person just now, can we go back to normal? The king shook his head. I don't know, but I dare to do such a bad thing. With the people under my power, I have to deal with them. While they talk, the door was half opened. Nin Trung carries a black thorn from the inside out. These thorns have a problem. Contact is not okay. But if you get hit by this thing, even a class of fighter, they will also be infected. Turned into a strange, inhuman creature. The capital suddenly appeared. Next to the people. This prickly nose is of the Greek way. An evil god has entered this world. He's using it to mass-produce his hand. The individual hit by it will be slowly assimilated into the false hand of the lost way. As long as the power, the person's spirit and level of life, lower than how to do it, the bad guys of the way, there will be a lot of spines on your back. After they die, these spikes will shoot out around. Infect many other individuals, become the wrong hand of the lost way. It's because of this mechanism, the world is full of these things now. Nin Trung lowered his face and did not know what to think. The king was startled when he realized something was wrong. Wait, we have a question. Suppose the king had appeared before. It's because my master impersonated me, and he's got some tricks. We can turn into that AI and use that person's power. So if he's resurrected on the space robbers, pierced by this prickly nose, is it possible he will indirectly capture the ability to infect others? It has the wrong way to do that you just said. If that's really the case, that's what's best for him. It's about dying at the right time, and then resurrected on the orbiter's container. He became the wrong man of the lost way. In this way, the subject of his resurrection, it's not going to be heaven in the city. It's everyone in the city, including us. The capital sounds like that. There was also a cold sweat on my face. Then the judge called for him to kneel. Very quickly, Kim Kwong condensed in front of them. He knelt down and asked what was wrong. Style double quick assignment. You've launched some more incarnations. And then we're going to take all the skyscrapers in the city. Let's gather here. Along the way, if you find that the body of a celestial thief has changed, then cut immediately on the spot. On my knees, I didn't ask much. Immediately nod to action. Another side evil lie. He is still fighting the yellow devil. He used the blood will to tie his opponent's hands.